Hey everyone, Peter here from Gavra. Hopefully you're excited as I am and you've received your Sun Shelf V2 product. We're going to go through a assembly video today. So we're going to go through, assemble the shelf itself, assemble the light panels, all the cabling, and then at the end of the video we're also going to go through the basins and how they wire up with the pump controller. So stay tuned and you'll see that all shortly. Of course, the first step is opening this guy. So we're just going to open the package. The easiest way to do it is just from the front here. Just use something sharp, little knife. I'm just using the cutters. I'm just going to lie this down now to open the rest of it. And then I can easily slice it down accordingly. And of course this edge as well. And then it just opens from the front here. So what you notice is there's no plastic except for this little bit, which holds all the screws in the different parts. Let's just open up this fully. But we've used cardboard to separate everything, which is pretty cool. So in here, you have your sun panels themselves that are nicely situated. So depending on how many you ordered will be how many are in the case. In this situation, we've ordered 3. So that means every level has a sun panel. So there's 2 at the front, and then there's going to be 1 here. So those are my 3 sun panels for the 3 levels. You've also got your instruction card. So effectively, once you open the packet, definitely look for the QR code here, scan it on your phone, and it'll take you to the website, which takes you to a big manual, and then it breaks down every component, which is pretty awesome and should be very easy to follow. In here, you've got your Meanwhile power supply, which is top graded 120 watts. You've got your main power cable, which will go on the back of the sun shelf. You got the mains cable that goes from your Meanwhile power supply to the mains. You've got an extension cable for a pump controller if you want it on the back. And then of course you have your entire part list, well, all your parts. Which is the primary thing that we're going to need for putting the shelf together, and you have your magnets to attach the cables to the shelf. So after going through that part list, now we're going to the side panels. At the top you're going to find 2 side panels, which are actually the top part of the side panels. These are a little bit different in the orientation of the screws, which you need to look for these 2 screws. Just keep that in mind as you're doing this. So those are for the top. And then we, of course, have the bottom. So these are for the bottom of your sun shelf. So now, why you have to worry about those 2 screws? Very, very important you get this right. These 2 screws here will line up with one of the tops. So I can see that these will slot in nicely here, like so. And I can see how I have these screws on the same side as the bottom 2 screws. The bottom screws there are on the same side as these top screws here. What I want to do is just put screws in here and there. And in your red packet, you want to look for your small screws. So they're typically at the bottom, and they're these small screws here. And you're going to need your Allen key for this as well. You can usually hand screw them a little bit of the way in. And then you bring the Allen key to tighten it all. And it does help, just to make sure you get these aligned, to put this up the correct way just before you do the final tighten. Like so. And now you finish off the tightening. If you tighten it fully on the ground, you may have a slight misalignment. So much better to do it this way. There we are. Nice and aligned, and that's one of your side panels. So now I'm going to do the same thing for the second side panel. I'm just going to lay this one here in the meantime. So you've got 2 side panels now done, which is awesome. But the easiest thing to do next is actually to put the supports on. So in V2, we replaced the X with support brackets at the top and bottom. So then you don't have an X in the background of your nice plant shots, which was a recommendation from a bunch of customers that we chatted to. So now these are the support brackets. So you can put it like this, and then you're using 2 of the large screws with the same Allen key. I like to use the long side of the Allen key for this one, just so it doesn't hit anything. And I can do the same thing on the back. Finger tighten it, and then use your Allen key. That should be pretty good, pretty sturdy. You might have noticed that there's two holes at the bottom. These are screws for feet. Your choice if you want to use them. I like to use them because it allows us to adjust the height on each side later down the line. The feet are really useful if you end up on uneven ground or you just want one side to be a little bit higher than the other. It becomes pretty handy. I'm just going to put the feet on it again. So this way both sides have feet for when I do decide to stand them up. Just by your hand. Cool, and that's good. You're going to need 4 of the large screws, and we're going to attach the two sides together. We're going to put those up there together, and you just want to screw in again. So I've got 2 screws on one side, and then I'll quickly just do this one. Just as before, just get them in finger tight, and then we can use the Allen key. Cool. I'm going to flip this up now before I screw the other 2 in. So I just tighten everything up with the Allen key. So now we're going to start the fun bit, which is effectively adding the wood to your shelf. So I'm just going to bring this back a bit, and I'll start putting the wood in. So up to you how you want to do this, but your top wooden panel is going to have our nice little logo on it. I like to have this one on the top, but it's your preference. So it just slides in like so. And you want to use the same screws that we just used before, which once again are the long screws. They're the primary screws you'll use when putting this together. What you want to do is there's screw holes under here that will go into the wood. So you just put them straight in. Now we're going to do the same thing for each level. It's your choice where you want the wood. So there's a 10 centimeter gap between these. So it's up to you if you want extra space for certain levels or not. So now we're up to the lights. So these are the sun panels. So each one of these goes for each level. So I've got one for that level, one for the next, and one for the next. Let me just do that. So once again, simple, just a little bit of tape there. Of course, in your sun shelf panel itself, there's the 2 lights which you're going to use for each level. Is part A. And you know this is part A because there's 2 cables, a red and blue cable output. It's got 1 cable on the other side, and there is a part B. You also have your controller, which allows you to control the time intervals that you want your unit on, and it allows you to control the intensity of the light. So now what you do is you just purely grab panel A and panel B, and you want to connect those 2 together. There's a bit of a twist that you have to do. So you've got to make sure that this is still round. Sometimes when it's moved around, it can be deformed a little bit. So just squeeze this, make sure it's round. And then you kind of plug that in like so, and you wiggle it in. So that just connected, wiggled in and connected, and then just twist it. And now that's locked in, and it's got a little bit of waterproofing there as well. The next thing that you probably can do at this stage actually is you want to connect your controller. So you notice here how you've got a red signal on this dark cable here. You can see this is also red. So purely red to red. Just connect those 2 together. Same thing, it kind of goes in, then twists. Now that those are all connected, you might decide, hey, I want to add these to my shelf. You'll see magnets attached on all 4 corners of each of the light panels. And under here, in this unit, you'll see some metal that this will connect to. So I'm going to decide that I want my controller on the left-hand side for my entire unit. So I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to connect that. And it should just magnetically connect into place as needed. And now we're going to do the same thing for each of our panels. So as you can see, now we have all of our light panels on, which is fantastic. The next step is to do the cabling. Now there's 3 kind of components here that you need. This is just your general plug into your mains, which will go into the transformer. That will plug into the 3-pin here, which is connected to your meanwhile power supply. So you kind of just slot it in like so. You just want to screw it in a little bit. So that's now connected to our meanwhile power supply / transformer, which will be transforming mains into 24 volts. And then this other section as a 2-pin plug that you can see here, 2 pins. That is going to connect to our main splitting cable, which is this guy. So we just simply, once again, connect that in together, like so. And then you just want to tighten it and screw it up a bit. And now that's connected. So with your split cable, which is this big guy, let's just take off the rubber band here, just so we can see a bit better. This guy will be providing power to every level of your sun shelf. To keep it on, we have magnets. So there are 3 magnets that it comes with, and you kind of want to just attach them to the nodes. This I would describe as a node. And if I take one of my magnets like so, I'll just kind of put it on, holding a lot of things like so. And then once that's on there, you just kind of click it in, and now that's nice and tight like so. And you want to do that for maybe the top 3 nodes, and now you have 3 magnets connected to your main cable. So now we can put this on my shelf. So this is your cable, these are the magnets. You want to line up, so that's like your top of your cable, which will be going into the power for your top unit. So you kind of just put it on the back wherever you want it. Just click it back in, which is fairly handy, like so. And then you can look at the cabling. So you want to do orange to orange, so this orange cable will connect to your main orange cable here, like so, and it just kind of plugs in. And then you do the same for all of your other cables. So now that the cabling's been done, the final step, of course, is to add power to the unit. So this is, of course, our meanwhile power supply. You just need your mains input, which is this guy, and you just connect them into a standard power point. And as soon as you do that, you'll see that this will light up, kind of the off setting, and you can turn it on. And then you can start playing around with how many hours on, how many hours off you want. You can start playing around with the intensity up or down for each individual level. And this is the diversity that the sun shelf really brings you. So if you want herbs, leafy greens on one level, or you want houseplants on another, you can do all of that, and you can give them different timing settings. All right, so now that your sun shelf's all set up, I can show you how to set up some of the growth modules and growth basins. I'll just show you how to do one. So this is the growth modules. This comes with 2 modules in it, because you need 2 per level. So this is what you get if you order 1 level of growth modules. One of the modules is upside down, of course. That's because we fill the bottom, the emptiness, with a bunch of parts. So let's go grab this guy out. And inside here, you have a manual for how to set it up. Once again, scan the QR code, it'll have a bunch of extra information. So your manual. This will have 24 neck cups. We'll also have 24 rock walls, so 2 packs of these. And this is our new pump controller. If you get one of those, 15 minutes on, 15 minutes off. It's magnetic on the top there. and comes with 2 pumps, like so, and some water level indicators. So if we're setting this up, you would choose to grab the pump, you would unwind it, like so, take this guy off, put the pump in. Now it's your choice if you want the urban plank rose on the front, or if you want the urban plank rose on the back on your shelf. I like to keep it on the front, although even though we've recently rebranded to Gabra, but it's still nice to have, like so. Let's say this guy goes here. This is your pump controller. So your pump controller will be drawing power from your lights. You want to plug it in at the lights below your basins. So for example, if I have my basins on this level, I'm going to choose to have my pump controller in between these 2 lights. So then my pump can connect down into it and there isn't cabling everywhere. So now to install this, you simply come down, it's already got a cable attached here. And you want to go in between the 2 lights, and it just magnetically connects to the back and just connects in there. And you just kind of connect this short cable into the light unit, like so. And then when you want, you can connect your pump into here. This is pretty much like set up. You have a second one here, and then you put your pumps in. Be warned, make sure you put some water in the basin before you turn your pump on, or you will get a frightening noise. The pump's not damaged, it's just pumping air, so just make sure there's water in there. And of course you want to put your lid on your module, like so. And then you'll seed your rock wool. You put your rock wool into your neck cups, put some water on them, make sure the seeds get nice and wet, and then you put your rock wool and your neck cups directly into the basins. But there's a lot of instructions on the instruction manual how to do that, and there's other videos for that, so I won't go into it in detail here. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. Hopefully this was helpful for you and you've set up your Sunshelf V2. Let us know what you guys are growing in your Sunshelf. Super excited. We love seeing the feedback. We love seeing the photos and the craziness and the crazy experiments that you guys are doing.